Good morning and welcome to church school on this last Sunday after the Epiphany. You'll see that we've changed the color in the church from green to white, and that's an indication of what happens during the Transfiguration. So tune in to church in a little while and hear all about that. But today is, of course, February 14th, which means it is St. Valentine's Day. And we're going to talk about St. Valentine and some of the ministry of deacons. So, Mrs. Byrne, you want to fill us in?
Yes. Well, we thought it might be a good idea to find out a little bit about St. Valentine. He lived long ago in Rome, and we call him a saint because he was a special kind of friend to Jesus, and you'll find out why. And our friend, Anna Palmieri, is here to read the story. So we'll go to Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I'm going to be reading St. Valentine, retold and illustrated by Robert Zabuda. In the ancient city of Rome, there lived a humble and gentle man. His clothes were not as fine as the nobleman's, and his leather sandals were worn thin. He did not live in a grand house made of smooth marble, but in a small dwelling in a crowded part of the city. The man's friends and neighbors called him Valentine. Valentine was a physician and practiced his trade in the tiny second room of his home. In that room stood a cabinet full of bowls and jars that held herbs and powders. There were glass and ceramic pots filled with animal fat and beeswax, and jugs of wine, milk, and honey that Valentine mixed with his medicines so they would not taste bitter. When the ill or injured came to see Valentine, he would show them into a tiny room and examine them carefully. He cleaned wounds with wine and vinegar and bandaged them with fresh cloth. Or he might grind up herbs and roots in a small bowl to ease a visitor's pain. When it came time for the patient to pay, Valentine would only accept what could be offered, a jug of wine, baked bread, or a new pair of sandals. If the patient had nothing, Valentine would say, "It was but a few herbs and a prayer that have healed you, my friend," and send him on his way. Prayer was an important part of Valentine's life too. But where most people in the city prayed to the many Roman gods, Valentine and a few small group of others prayed to a single god. The Romans did not like these people, called Christians, who worshipped only one god. Whenever anything bad in the city happened, the Romans almost always blamed the Christians, even if they had nothing to do with it. Sometimes the Christians were put in prison or killed. Knowing the danger of his beliefs, Valentine, who was a priest of the Christians, prayed for each of his patients, but only after nightfall. One afternoon, a man with a small child came to Valentine's door. The man worked as a jailer at the emperor's prison and had heard about the priest's healing powers. Valentine took the girl's hand and led her and her father into the examining room. The child seemed well, but when Valentine held up the oil lamp for a closer look, he realized why the father had come. "She has been blind since birth," said the jailer. "Can you give her sight?" Although he knew that blindness was one of the most difficult things to cure, Valentine vowed to do his best. From the cabinet, he took down a precious copper box filled with a wet, waxy paste and dabbed a little into each corner of the child's eyes. The jailer thanked Valentine and tried to pay, but the priest refused. "I cannot accept payment when it is doubtful the child will gain her sight. Bring her again next week, and I will apply more ointment." The jailer and his daughter thanked the priest and were gone. That night, like every night, Valentine prayed for his patients, but he prayed longest for the jailer and his child. The father and daughter returned the following week, and again the week after. Each time, Valentine applied a small amount of waxy paste, but the child's eyes remained sightless. After so many visits, the three soon became good friends. Sometimes, while the jailer stood guard at the prison, the priest took the child along with him, while he gathered herbs and plants for his medicines. Together they walked outside the city gates and down the old stone road until they reached the countryside. In spring, the fields were covered with bright golden crocuses, the first flower to bloom in Rome after winter. While Valentine gathered white mandrake root for curing headaches, the child would gather bouquets of yellow and orange crocuses to give to her father when the priest brought her home. Weeks went by until one day Valentine, who was expecting the knock of the jailer and his daughter at the door, heard instead the heavy pounding of Roman soldiers. The soldiers burst in and began to destroy everything in the physician's home. They smashed to pieces the cabinet full of medicine, the precious copper box with eye ointment spilled to the floor. Before he knew what happened, Valentine was led to the emperor's prison and put in a dark, cold cell. When the jailer heard about the prisoner's arrest, he hurried to the cell. There has been an uprising in the streets, and the Christians are being blamed, he told Valentine. Many have been imprisoned. The emperor has ordered it. There is nothing I can do. Valentine slowly nodded and asked for a pen and ink, something to write on, which the jailer hurried to get. When he came back, the priest quickly wrote on the scrap of papyrus and handed it back to the jailer. "Please give this to your child," he said, and grasped the man's hand in farewell. Later, 2 soldiers came to Valentine's cell and took the priest away as the jailer watched helplessly. When the jailer returned home that day, he was greeted by his daughter. He slid the scrap of papyrus out of his waist belt, unrolled it, and handed it to the child. "What does it say, father?" asked the child, as a yellow crocus fell from the small scroll into her hand. "From your Valentine," her father read. Slowly the child held up the blossom before her face and for the first time watched its color dazzle like the rays of the afternoon sun. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna, for reading that story. And it's really interesting because I always thought that St. Valentine was just a Hallmark salesman. Well, not really. I knew better than that. But we have someone else, a good friend to the parish, our deacon. Deacon Marjorie is with us this morning, and she is going to talk about what a deacon is and what her ministry is. So take it away, Deacon Marjorie.
Good morning, young people. Some of you might remember I'm Deacon Marjorie. I'm the deacon here in your parish. I'm also the deacon for 4 other parishes. All Saints, Zion in Douglaston, Grace in Whitestone, St. George's and St. John's in Flushing. The role of a deacon is different to that of a priest. We are the bridge from the parish into the community to see what the community needs are. First time when I entered a parish, any one of my parishes, I asked them, would the community miss you if you were not here any longer? Some said they're not sure, some said yes, they would, and so forth and so on. Some of the churches does have some outreach ministry. Grace does their pantry. They also have a Thanksgiving dinner. And you're involved with that because you bring canned goods and different things, and it's sent over to Grace. So you are part of that ministry at Grace. St. George's had a outreach ministry that was feeding several folks in the community. It started off with 50 families, and then it ended up going up to 300. And what eventually happened was, as the leadership changed, they decided they wanted to do a new format. So that was a ministry with the Hindu population, where they would make lunch and bring it to the church. It was all vegetarian meal, and all nationalities came in and partake of it. And so it was very sad for me that that ministry discontinued. In the case of, I told you here, you do some outreach. You also had, you have the flea market, and that is an outreach program because you do give to a discount so folks could help themselves to whatever their needs are. That is ministry of the deacon, as I said, is to encourage the churches to go out and do Jesus' ministry. In Matthew 25, Jesus said, I was naked and you didn't clothe me. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was sick, you didn't come to visit me. Part of the deacon's job is pastoral ministry, but not pastoral in the church sense, because that is the priest's jurisdiction, and so we're not allowed to do that. In my case, I'm a full-time chaplain in a hospital, so that's my pastoral ministry. First, I report to the bishop, and then when I'm in the parishes, whatever parish I'm in, then I'm reporting to the priest. My ministry in the church is actually to proclaim the gospel. I could be helping with pastoral care, but not going out to visit, but training pastoral leaders to do that, to assist the priests if there is a big ministry of sick. Of course, now with COVID, we can't go out and do any of that. We make sure that the folks understand, and you yourselves, I'm sure you might have some ministry, and if you don't, you might want to say to Miss Susan that maybe you want to write letters to some of the parishioners that have not been to church because they are not able to. And so that's a good ministry because you're telling them, I'm thinking about you and I'm wondering how you're doing. You could also have a project, and this is not my original. I was at a conference and they were talking about Sunday school youngsters making cookies in their homes and then sending it out to the parishioners. So these are little things that you can do. And some of you are artists, so you can draw things and you can send it to the parishioners. Here in the church, my primary function also is to prepare the table for communion. Don't tell anyone I'm telling you this, but I love being here at All Saints. For the mere fact, I feel that I'm involved in a lot of the church's ministry. I'm able to go up and set the table while Arcadia play a little prelude before, and then I come down and I get involved in singing. So I feel that my ministry is recognized here, but I'm also recognized as a parishioner, and that makes me feel good because I've been in church all my life, and I enjoy being in church, and I enjoy doing a lot of stuff. And I am going to show you something, a little bit of education about our vestments. This is a chasuble, and this is what the priest wears. It doesn't have any stitching at the side. It's just something that he drapes over his head and comes over his shoulder. The deacon wears a square, and that's called a dalmatic, and it's stitched at the sides. So the deacon has to put that over and put the hands through and so forth. The priest wears a stole, and the stole has a little cross, and the priest reveres it by kissing it. And so the priest wears his stole under his chasuble this way. A deacon wears a stole, but that's actually sewn, and it's wrong side. It actually drapes over the heart, so we know that our ministry should be from the heart. And so that is how it is. So this is how we would wear our stole. The deacon role is also to make Christ known by word and example. So that means that we're supposed to be exemplary. We're not supposed to go around and just get involved in mischief making. We need to be able to be that person that someone would look up and say, yes, that's a godly person. And maybe one of you, who knows, might decide that's what you'd like to do. Right now, some of you are doing ministries. Some of you are acolytes, and some of you are on the choir when there's a choir. So you are actually starting to do ministry, and those ministries will evolve into other things that you'd like to do. You know, those of you that are acolytes, eventually you become head acolytes, and then who knows what you'll do. You might go off to college and you'll decide that you're going to continue to go to church because church was so much a part of you, because this is really your foundation now. And Miss Susan is doing a wonderful job, and we want to thank her and Miss Diane for what they do. And we also want to thank Teddy for always be there to support and to make this very seamless that others who are outside watching feel. I also need to tell you that if adults sit in and listen to Miss Susan's lesson plan, they will learn quite a bit, because I myself have learned quite a bit from just watching. And my grandson, all the way in Washington, D.C., does go to Sunday school most times. And so I'm very happy, because the whole thing about it, the heart of this church is being kind to others. And as soon as they heard that David was going to be adopted, everyone got involved. And so I said to my daughter, this is going to be his church. And so it is his church. So I thank Miss Susan for asking me to be a part of this presentation, and wish you well and many blessings, and God bless all of you and bless your families.
Thank you, Deacon Marjorie. We're sure glad to have you around here. But what time is it now?
Probably not, but snack time?
Guess what? It really is snack time.
It is?
With Miss Diana.
Great, because I didn't have breakfast. I'm out.
Okay, we'll see you in the kitchen.
Diana cooking in the morning.
Hi guys! I'm in a slightly different place today. I don't know. I'm missing kind of my boys behind me. And that's because we are going to be making Valentine's Day cookies. So what you're going to need for this is you need some cookie dough, or you can make it from scratch, but I'm being a little lazy. So I'm using Pillsbury cookie dough. You see the little Pillsbury dough boy right there? He's having a grand old time, but you could use anything you like. This is plain sugar cookie, but you can use chocolate chip, shortbread, red velvet. Ooh, red velvet would be good for this. But I'm gonna use sugar cookies. Then I have some sparkly gel icing, but again, you can use any type of icing you like. I have a giant tub of sprinkles, because who doesn't love sprinkles? I have some little glittery sprinkles, because again, who doesn't like sprinkles? And additionally, who doesn't love glitter? Parents, because it's hard to clean up. And I have these little cinnamon hearts, or cinnamon circles. They're not hearts. But speaking of hearts, we're gonna make heart-shaped cookies. So I have a giant heart cookie cutter. But first things first, before you do any baking, you gotta wash your hands. So let's go do that.
6 hours later.
Boom. All right. Now that my hands are all clean, I preheated my oven already, and I preheated it to 350 because that's what this says. But you gotta make sure that you're doing what your recipe calls for. So I'm gonna open up my cookie dough. I already cut it, but that's why the scissors are there. So open up my cookie dough, and it's in a kind of a loaf shape. So I'm gonna put my loaf down, take my rolling pin, I'm just gonna roll it out, except it's very hard.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So first, I'm gonna smash out my dough a bit, which I've already started doing, so it's easier to roll, because it's still a little cold, because it is very, very cold out today. So I'm smashing it out. Feels kind of nice, actually. Nice and a little squishy. Smash it, and then I'm gonna try to roll it, but if it doesn't roll, I'll go back to smashing. Now that your cookie dough is pretty much flat, you might could go back and roll some more later. You could take your cookie cutter. I have this really big one, but you could use whatever side you like. And you're gonna smush it in. Then you're gonna twist a bit. So you make a nice heart-shaped cookie. Then you're gonna pull it out. And then you're gonna take the dough around. This is my favorite strategy. You pick up the dough around it, so you can pick up the shape a lot easier. So there we go. It's a little janky in the back, but got one heart-shaped cookie. And then you're gonna put it on your baking tray. And then you go back to your dough. And you gotta roll it out again. Make it nice and flat. Then you're gonna go in with your cookie cutter again smash, shake, 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 shake. The shaking really helps because it spreads the doughs away from each other. And up we go. Got another heart. There we go. It's okay if they're a little misshapen because real hearts don't look like this anyways. So I'm gonna put another heart, and you wanna make sure they're a little spaced apart from each other so they have room to grow. Now back to rolling.
A few minutes later.
Smash. Shake. Pull. Make a little door. Oh, this was a good one. Look at that. Now put my heart down there, and let's make one more. Bring it all together. Smash and rolls. Back to that. If you have any extra dough, you can always save it, put it in your fridge, make more cookies later. There we go. Nice and flat. This one's gonna be a little bit of a thicker cookie, but again, that's okay too. And pull. And I'm gonna take out all my extra dough. I'm gonna put this to the side. Take my heart. Ooh, this is a good one too. She's a little fatter on this side. And put her on the tray. Then I'm gonna take my tray and put it in the oven. Boom. And there we ate.
A few moments later.
And they're done. Now you're gonna put them on your cooling rack. And here comes the fun part, decorations. So I'm going to start with my icing. And I think I am going to make this one a smiley face heart. So I'm gonna take a red dot. Get a red dot. And then it needs an eyeball. So I'm gonna take one of my little cinnamon things and plunk it right in the middle. So he has one eye. I think he needs two, or the cookie needs two. Let's put some more icing on. And then we're gonna, a little bit more. You never have too much glitter icing. The eyes are a little lopsided, but that's okay. He's a silly heart. And now I think I'm gonna go in with my pink and give it a nice big smile. And I think it's feeling a little silly, so it's gonna have its tongue stuck out too. There we go. That's one cookie. They're still a little stuck, but we're not gonna pick them up yet. Next, I think I'm gonna write I love you, and I'm gonna do that on this cookie right here. So I'm gonna start with my pink and write the letter I. Then I'll go back in with my red and do a heart on my heart. And then I'm gonna fill it in. But I'm gonna fill it in with my red sparkles. Take them and just, oh, there we go. Got a little extra out. That's okay. I'm just gonna take my finger, because they're clean, and just shake that out. And then, who should I write that I love? I love cookies. I love dinosaurs. Nope, I love you. So we're gonna draw the letter U to represent you. That's one cookie. Now, I think this one, I'm gonna trace the cookie. So I'm gonna take my icing and I'm gonna go around the edge of my cookie. And it's okay if these are a little messy. You can decorate them however you like. So I traced it. I missed a little spot here. And then I'm gonna go in with my red again and make a little zigzag. Now that that's in there, I think I'm gonna take some of my sprinkles, my big jar of sprinkles, and open them on this side, so there's some holes, and just add some sprinkles. And then one more cookie. What should I do on my last cookie? I think I'm going to write Happy V-Day, because that stands for Happy Valentine's Day. So we're gonna write the letter H. And the letter A. And 2 P's. If the icing wants to work for me. And then I got my happy, and now it's time to write V-Day, and I'm gonna make that one a little bigger. So I'm gonna do a V, and a little line, and then D-A-Y. And then I think I'm gonna add a little cinnamon heart. I'm gonna add some cinnamons just at the edge of my cookie, and I'm just gonna press them into my cookies. And we're all done. But you know what's the best part about cookies after decorating them? Having someone try your cookies. So I'm gonna go get my super duper special guest who is going to eat one of my cookies.
By sheer coincidence.
Father Byrne, guess what time it finally is?
Snack time?
It's finally snack time.
Finally, after all these months.
You
it's
finally
snack
get
time.
snack time, so you get your
Wow.
choice of cookies.
And they look great too. I think I will go with the Happy V-Day one because I like cookies that are a little bit browner.
Oh, well, the cinnamons fell off of it.
That's okay.
But here you go. Let's see. Let's see if our cookies came out good.
Let's see. You know, on the cooking shows, they always love their own cookies. Here, why don't you share it with me?
Okay, we'll share the cookie.
And let's see.
C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's
Wow,
good enough for me.
that was the intention.
C is for cookie, that's good enough
I hope you
for
guys
me.
have fun decorating and eating your cookies, and make sure to send us some pictures of how your Valentine's Day cookies come out.
C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C.
Hi, welcome to Arts and Crafts with Mrs. Byrne. I have my special Valentine's Day mask to wear today, just to help celebrate the day. Remember that Bishop Curry says that when we wear our masks, we're saying I love you. So I'm going to wear mine just for fun. So here goes. Okay, now I'm all set for Valentine's Day. And I have some of the Valentines that some of you made last year hanging up to help us celebrate the day too. But we're going to make Valentines in a different way today. We're going to use cardboard tubes. They don't really look like Valentines yet, do they? But we can make them look like hearts. I'll show you how. You can take a long tube like this and cut it in half, or you can use a short tube like this. And we're going to bend it in a special way. I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to be very firm And I'm going to bend the bottom of the tube so that it's straight at the bottom. Okay, there it is. That's going to be the bottom of my heart. I can look right through it. But now I have to make the bumps on the top of the heart. So I'm going to take my finger again, and I'm just going to gently push down on the roll at the top. And I can put my finger in to shape it a little bit. And push down. Okay, a little more. And if I push down, I start to get a heart shape, don't I? Here's another one that I did before. And you can see there's a heart on this side, and there's a heart on that side. And that's what we're going to use to print with to make our Valentines. So, I have lots of paint here. You can really use whatever colors you want. I chose these colors for Valentine's Day. Pink, purple, white, and red. But if you don't like these colors, you can make them whatever color you want. And now, for my card, I need a piece of paper. You could use white, purple, pink, red, whatever you like. Today, I think I'm going to make mine with this light purple, this lavender color paper. But you can choose whatever you want. And here it is. And I have a paper plate because that's what I'm going to put my paint on. So I need a squirt. I'm just going to move the paper for a minute. I need a squirt of each color. So I'm going to start with my pretty pink. This looks like it has a little bit of glitter in it too. And you don't need a real lot of paint for this. Just a little bit works the best. All right, purple. That's sparkly too. And I need a little bit of white. Okay, and some red. Here we go. Okay. All right. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to put my paper back right over here. And see if I can make it fit better this way. I'm going to turn it around. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of the sides of my heart and I'm going to put it in the paint. Let's start with the pink. Here we go. Smear it around a little. I just want to make sure that the bottom of it has paint on it. You can see that the bottom is pink now. So I can put it anywhere I want on the paper. I'm going to choose the corner and I'm going to put it straight down. I don't want to jiggle it because I want to be sure I can see the heart when I pick it up. So let's see how I did. Oh, I can use a little bit more paint, I think, because it didn't print as well as I wanted. So let's try that again. Press a little harder on this side now. Oh, now I can see a heart. And let's try one more pink one in the other corner. I'll make sure I have enough paint on it. I'm going to press straight down. Okay, let's see if I get a nice heart. Ooh, that's a really nice heart. Now I can turn the tube over. And this time I'm going to put it in the purple paint. Try to get it all over the bottom. And I choose a spot. Maybe I'll choose this corner. And I'm going to press down. 1, 2, 3. Pick it up. And if it didn't print all the way, that's okay. You can go back and try again. Just 1, 2, 3. I'm still going to try one more time because there's one part that it's not as dark as I want. Okay, now I got it. That's a nice purple one. Now, let me try the red color. I'm going to put this right in there. Okay, let's see, is it red on the bottom? It's red. So let's try this corner. Here we go, straight down. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Beautiful red heart on the first try. Let me try another one like that. I like the way that turned out. I can put it anywhere I want. I could put it in the middle. Okay, or maybe I can try one down here at the bottom. You can use as many as you want. Okay. And I can still turn it around, and this time I'm going to put it in the white paint. So here we go. Smear it around. I want to make sure I've got paint on the whole thing. Okay, there we go. Put a white one right here. You know, I always get paint on my fingers, and that's okay because I can wash it off when I'm finished. There's a white one. Let's try another white one. Okay, a little bit more paint on that one. Now I fixed it. And maybe because pink is one of my favorite colors, I'll go back and put another pink one on. You can see I've got pink on there. And probably the more you use these, the easier they're going to be to print with because they're going to have more and more paint on them. Let's try one more purple. I'm almost finished. Oh, we need a purple one here. Oh, that really turned out nicely. Another purple one. And this was a purple one here. And then, as Miss Diana says, you can never have enough glitter. So I have some too. I'm going to use a towel so my hands won't be quite so sticky. Wipe some of it off. And I have some red glitter today, but you can use whatever color glitter you like. And here we go. I'm going to sprinkle it on. Oh, let's see. Whenever you think you have enough, but you can always use one more sprinkle. So here we go. All right, and now guess what I have to do? I have to shake off the extra. So here we go. Ooh. And when it's dry, you can fold it like a card, and you can write an I love you message for anyone you would like and give them a special Valentine. Maybe your mom, maybe your dad, or maybe a teacher, whoever you like. So, happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks, Diana. And thanks, Mrs. Byrne. Someday you're going to paint something with a brush, and I'm going to be so surprised. It's amazing what she can do. But now, we're going to hear something else about love. It's a song your parents know, and maybe you've heard it too. But this is a special virtual choir and band that are going to be happening, so enjoy. Snack.
Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say that you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do that you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you are meant to be. Well, it's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love, love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. Everybody now. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love, love. Love is all you need.
So that was a really cool version of that song that I learned. Oh, when did I learn that song? Probably when I was about, 4 or 5 years old. That song's been around a long time, hasn't it?
I think it has. And it's really true. All you need is love.
And cookies.
Do you want me to hold the cookie while you say the blessing, Father Larry?
That might be a good idea. The peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of his Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon you and remain with you this day and forevermore.
Bye. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Go share some love.
Love.